Today we're here with Martim Gois, the CEO and founder of Valpas, which is bringing hygiene to the hospitality sector. Martim's joining us from Europe today. How is everything over there?
All good. Thanks, Zain. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
You know what? This is going to be an exciting show because prop tech isn't just about what goes on inside the building, but sometimes what comes into the building, right? And why don't you sort of tell us your background and specifically what I mean when I say coming into a building?
Yeah, so my mom's from Northern Europe, from Finland. My dad's from Portugal, Southern Europe. And since 5 months old, I've been traveling opposite ends of Europe. And during my 30 years lifespan, I've developed a passion for traveling. So I'm a really passionate traveler. But then on one of my travels in 2013, I had the worst experience ever. With my girlfriend in Indonesia on a surf trip, we experienced bed bugs, those small nasty parasites that suck your blood and then infest your apartment. And we experienced them, got attacked, brought them back to our flat in Helsinki, and I just became so frustrated with the way it was dealt with reactive pesticides. There was no other way back then. That out of that frustration, while still studying at university, we founded our company back then in 2013. At first, however, we were a bedbug kill company. So we actually founded Northern Europe's first bedbug heat treatment business. And that was innovative back then, that we actually scaled the company quickly into industry leader here in Finland. And then actually sold it last year, that first business.
So Martin, this was a traditional vendor, if I'm correct. A vendor that any
that's right.
owner or landlord or manager could call when they have a pest control problem. And did you focus specifically on bed bugs, or did you treat a wide variety of issues related to pests?
It was just for bed bugs, yeah.
And after going through that experience, what type of things did you see? Give us a sense of the problem that's plaguing many owners and managers.
Yeah, so it was actually through this first traditional extermination company that we understood what's the real problem behind the rising global bedbug problem. And it's that bedbugs, they actually spread like a virus, but there is no vaccine for them, to lend an analogy from COVID. So they spread like a virus despite being tangible, and there's no vaccine for them. So there's a complete lack of prevention. And this is the reason why they've been spreading exponentially year on year during the past 10, 15 years. And so we were seeing that while it's impossible for anyone to avoid picking up bed bugs and bringing them back home, just like we did, once you bring them into a bedroom inside a real estate, you could actually, with early prevention, avoid those few bed bugs that tag along with you from becoming a problem. And once we understood that nobody else was doing this, once we understood that this was really the answer, not just for travelers, the victims of bed bugs, but also hospitality providers, the owners who are unwillingly in the middle of all this and experience tons of reputation and financial damage due to them. It was once we understood that, this is the big question that needs to be solved, that we wanted to fix it. And that's how the idea for Valpas was born.
So how bad a problem is this? And what happens if you just ignore the problem? Does it get worse and worse, or does it stay at just a certain point and a certain level? And is there any also regulation or punishment for failing to provide a safe environment for your tenants or guests?
The problem is huge, and it's just growing. So just to give you an idea, in the US, which is probably the most mature market for bed bugs, so to say, today, hospitality providers can even get sued for having a service failure related to bed bugs, where guests are attacked and bring the problem back to their home. And the problem really is, and I think the most misunderstood question in the whole industry is that hotels and hospitality providers, they actually feel that it's their problem. But in the end, it's a traveler's problem, because travelers are the ones who are afraid of them when they travel. Travelers are the ones who get attacked by them. They're the real victims, and they are the ones who bring it back to their homes. And, spending thousands of dollars in bedbug extermination and needing to throw everything out of your rooms, that's a big loss for you as a household or a traveler. So what we are basically doing with Valpas is we're enabling hospitality providers to be the solution, so that now Valpas, and this is what we basically do, we empower hotels to inspire confidence with our hygiene standard, with our new hygiene standard that collects and eliminates bed bugs on behalf of guests and stops them from coming home. So today we have over 60 top-rated hotels, everything from your 4 to 6 room boutique hotel to a 700 room hotel chain, hotel group hotel, using the standard and keeping not just guests safe, but also their own operations. Because if you don't do this, it's a recurring problem. Every single hotel faces it, and it gets real bad real quick if you don't have these adequate means now that Valpas is introducing to the market. So at worst, you can see full hotels being refurbished and completely restructured due to bed bugs that have been introduced in the hotel and then spread real fast and cause damage. Not to speak about reputation. So even one bed bug review, according to Expedia and Booking.com, it affects the room rate at which the hotel can sell their room nights, not just for the next few days, but even the next 6 months. So it's a huge problem.
A funny anecdote. When I came to America, I may have a British accent, but I'm sure viewers know that I now live in America. And when I came here chasing the American dream, didn't have any money. So I stayed in some very, very low cost hotels in an area of San Francisco called the Tenderloin, where your average nightly rate was very, very low. It would sometimes be used as subsidized homeless, homeless shelters or whatever. And I remember, I stayed in one place for a week, and I think 3 days in, we got a letter through the door, and I'm thinking, oh God, did we not pay a bill or anything? And I look at the letter, and it says, just to notify you that we will need you to vacate earlier because we have an extermination company coming due to the bedbug problems we've had. And they had to put this letter under every single door, right?
Yeah.
And I just think, I still remember that one experience. I didn't know there were bedbugs. I certainly checked out the very moment I got that letter, by the way. I was horrified, right? And I thought to myself, this is great, I'm out of here, I'm good. Of course, I didn't realize I'm probably bringing the bed bugs with me to the next hotel, right? From hotel to hotel. But the impact it has on a consumer, a tenant, or a guest in a hotel, or a tenant in an apartment building, is something that reminds you forever. It's something we're horrified by. You only Google bed bugs and you see these horrific, massive pictures of zoomed in bed bugs, but they're very small, right?
Yeah, they're super small, and you're not the only one Googling. If you actually Google hotel bedbug check, depending on where you are in the world and which IP address, you'll get over 20 million hits. So this kind of backs that. This depends a bit where you are again in the world, but 1 in every 3 frequent travelers have experienced bed bugs at least once. This is one of those things that, especially when you experience it, you never want to have it again. You try to avoid it. Hence, you Google hotel bedbug check, something we're making obsolete now, since you can now travel reassured. But even, someone who hasn't experienced, like you just been kind of watching from the sidelines or, from the neighboring flat, it's something that you're now aware, and you kind of you're aware, and probably you don't want to have it. Yeah.
In the US, they say that 1 out of every 5 households has experienced a bedbug problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Which probably makes being in the pest control industry a pretty safe industry to be in, right? With the amount of recurring calls that happen. And, it's not a cheap visit, right? Depending on the service used. I know in the US, the average was around $900 to $1,000 a visit. I'm sure it varies globally, but it's a global problem. And also, when you look at the actual industry, it's made up of a lot of smaller groups, and there's some consolidation happening. But it's impossible to have completely national reach, just because bed bugs are in everywhere. If you take that stat, 1 out of every 5, that means it's a perfect map of the world where bed bugs could be. Wherever humans are, bed bugs are.
Yeah, I think what you just mentioned about it being such a kind of, let's say, a cash cow industry, it's one of the reasons why there hasn't been that much innovation either. You're still, big pest control companies and small have been just happily using pesticides to deal with them, even though it's not a good solution for anyone. It's just accelerating
it's the
spread of
standard,
bed bugs.
Right? I understand the standard treatment is insecticides, and nearly every pest control company will offer that. And then some offer other treatments too, right?
But even further than just pesticides, is everything is reactive. So you're just kind of waiting for the fire to happen and then putting out the fire. It's like you would have the kind of fire security industry. Everybody would just sell, a fire station. Hey, let's put a fire station near your block, so when the fire happens or when something gets going, you'll be super close to us and we'll get to you as fast as possible. But there's been this complete, it's been completely neglected what really people need, and it's that safety, it's that prevention, it's the vaccine.